What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast. Today, it is my favorite episode of the year, my favorite project, the WPIAL Preseason Preview. So pumped up to release this to you guys. Just right off the bat, we're doing it a little bit different than we did last year. Last year, I had them all together on one. It was like 3 hours long. It was a lot. This year, I'm changing it up. Each single team is going to have their own little video, their own little episode of the pod. So you won't have to sift through all the other stuff. Super excited for that. We talked to all these different coaches, man. I had 30 guys come on from across AA and AAA, which shattered my goals for this year, which is awesome. So yeah, man, I'm just super excited to release this to you guys. It was a lot of fun. These coaches were open and honest. They had great insight, and for me, man, just to sit down and listen to these guys talk about what they're wrestling, there's not much better in my world. So without further ado, here is the WPIAL Preseason Preview. Thank you, guys. Love Jens. As always, brought to you by Switch Custom Apparel.
Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL Show, where Dial and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinny D. WPIAL Ken and Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
Okay, joining me now on the call, we have assistant coach of Baldwin Area High School, Jerry Klodowski. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Yourself?
Not too bad. I might have butchered that. I tried to get it right. If I got it wrong, I apologize.
That's
the last
all right.
name there.
I've heard worse.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on and taking some time out and talking about your squad. You guys got a couple of tough little guys over there, man. Not even little, just tough little hammers. But first things first, let's talk about your alumni. Who's doing things in college or beyond college?
Yeah, so last year we really didn't have any graduating alumni that are still wrestling. I think the last one we had was Garrick Hutchinson. I believe that was in like 2018, but he wrestled for Gannon for 4 years. He's involved in some strength training now up in Erie. That's really our last one. We had some guys graduate last year that went into the military,
Nice.
Serving their country. So
very, very cool, man. Very cool. Okay. Off-season program. How's it going for you guys?
it's good. We had a lot of guys going to club, a lot of guys doing, NHSCA duels, guys just working out strength training over the summer. We didn't really get into any preseason workouts until September, October. We got in the room, started lifting, working out, just trying to get the cardio up. That's been a problem for some of our guys. Our program isn't known for, being a stud wrestling program like the Connellsvilles, the Cannon Macs. But, we're trying to get the guys, in the room, trying to make them better, working on the things that they need to work on. Like I said, a lot of guys, they get gassed out second period, third period, try to get that cardio up.
Very good. Okay. As you're going through the off-season program, who are some of the guys that you as a coaching staff has identified as leaders, captains?
I think it's going to be our three from last year. Ramil, naturally, he's a good kid, works hard in the room, motivates everybody. Everybody wants a piece of him when it comes to live wrestling. Keith Minson, he's a senior this year. He's a 160-pounder this year. Football player. Everybody looks up to him. Tough kid, commands the room. So he'll be another captain. And then my son, Owen, he'll be the third captain. So
very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Talking about those three a little bit more, man, I've watched a couple of them at Gladiators, Ramil and your son in general. I'm sure I've seen Minson there as well, or if he doesn't go, I haven't recognized him for some reason. I'm not catching him in my head. But has he gone up the Gladiators at all?
He is, yeah. Actually, he was up there tonight. Him and Ramil took the ride up tonight. And they
Nice.
were there. You know, like I said, he was in football all summer. So
Yeah.
you'll start to see him, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever nights he can get up there, he's going to get up there.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. I try to sneak my little dude up there and go up for like a half an hour and let him roll around a little bit. So I'm sure I'll see him up there. I'll have to ask Ramil which one he is. But yeah, man, watching those guys, watching your kid, Ramil, work out at Gladiators, man, they're really, really putting in some work. Special kids. So let's just get right into the next part of it. What are some of your goals and expectations you have for this squad?
Well, I think, you know, those three that I'd mentioned, I'm looking for all of them to make it through WPIALs and, you know, make it to the state tournament. I think Ramil has gotten extremely strong over the summer. You know, he's gotten really good at hand fighting. He's very dominating. I think he's going to have a good shot at making the podium this year. You know, we got to work on where he's going to settle down with his weight, but, you know, he's got a great chance. You know, the other two, Owen, Keith, they have great chances too. They got to work hard, you know, watch their weight, get those extra workouts in and just wrestle hard.
No doubt. Good stuff. I love that answer. Okay. Next thing I have on the list. We talked about your seniors. We talked about your captains. How about freshmen? How about newcomers? Guys that we need to look out for that might be new to the lineup.
So, you know, this year we have a lot of newer guys. We do have some freshmen coming up. The one that comes to mind is Jason Alex. Now, this kid has been wrestling since he was in kindergarten, and, you know, he might not be your state qualifier, state placer type material, but he's tough. You know, as I always like to tease, as a youth, I don't think he won a match probably the first 5 years that he was wrestling. But, man, he just kept on coming out, and now he's gotten better. And, you know, again, he likes to scrap in the room. He's tough. He's hard-headed. I'm hoping he has a good season this year. He'll probably settle in around 120, maybe at the end of the year, drop down to 16. But, you know, we'll see.
That's awesome.
The other one that we need to watch out for is Andrew Sharp. It's probably a name you haven't heard of other than football for Baldwin. So Sharp was a wrestler. You know, he started wrestling in kindergarten, made it all the way up to middle school, and then he wrestled through middle school, but then he bailed out his freshman season to wrestle the junior high season. He's a two-time state place or third place in junior high. He's probably going to settle in at 189 pounds this year. But, you know, even being away from the game for 3-4 years, you know, he's coming back in the room, and he's just an athlete. And I think he's going to make some waves. So he's just tough. He's gritty. He likes to get in there and fight. So
love that 189 pounder. Look out. That's good stuff, man. A bigger upper guy for you guys, because I know that you guys have tough little weights. So to have an upper guy is nice.
Right.
Okay. Next thing I have, you're obviously one of the assistants, but what's the rest of the coaching staff look like?
So our head coach is Mike Bilby. So Mike's been coaching at Baldwin for 31 years now. A lot of the coaches in the WPIAL know Mike. He wrestled at Susquehannock High School in the middle of the state, graduated from there, went to Blair Academy for a post-grad year, and actually was on the roster at Pitt until he broke his neck in a swimming accident. So,
oh, wow.
He's been the head coach of, you know, various levels. He's coached the youth in our district. He's coached middle school. He coached high school. I think when all of these boys, when Minson and, you know, Sabroni used to go to our school, we had this good group of young kids coming out of the youth program and into the middle school program. And Mike wasn't really familiar with, you know, this level of wrestling from these kids that have done clubs since they were 8, 9 years old. And he was a little shocked. So he wanted to see these guys through. So he did 2 years with all those boys in middle school. When our kids made it up into high school, he moved up into the high school, and he said, listen, if I'm going to take over the high school position, he said, you got to be my assistant. Mike hates paperwork, so that's my role here. I'm the paper guy. So one of our other coaches is Ricky Harbar. Ricky was a Baldwin alumni, He graduated in 2005, and he was our last state placer in the district. He placed at states in 2005. I believe it was like 6th place. So he was actually in the corner when Owen qualified for states last year. So it was pretty memorable for him.
Well, let's try to get another one on the podium this year and break that little cycle, my friend.
Love to.
All right. Okay. Next thing I got, room games: dodgeball, kickball, handball, stickball, hockey. What do you guys get into?
We do a lot of tails. That seems to be, well, last year it was kickball. This year it's tails. We do play some handball occasionally, some partner dodgeball. Sometimes we go just free for all dodgeball, but really it's tails is the game.
I love that. And that's where you just stick a shirt in the back and just try to grab that mug, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more physical than that, but that's
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, I'm sure that wrestlers don't get physical at all. Not at all. Okay. Schedule, man. What's it look like for you guys, and how are you trying to get, like we talked about a few times, try to get these guys on the podium to states at the end of the year?
Yeah, so this year it's very similar to what we did last year. Eastern Area Tournament is one that we usually do. It's a smaller tournament, Air Gateway, but this year we're trekking out to Ohio, out to Independence, and they actually have a bunch of schools that are coming out. It's a unique format. We'll wrestle in pools, and then they'll break out all the first place or second place or third place or fourth placers, throw them into a bracket and just let them wrestle. So kids will have the opportunity, instead of having like 4 matches in the beginning of December, they'll have like 8 or 9 matches in the beginning. And that's really what we want. A lot of our kids lost out on that COVID year, so they're behind. I know, Owen and Keith both want to hit 100 wins this year. I think they got like 30 matches or whatever to win to get there. So, we're looking for opportunities to get them some more matches early in the year. But our standard schedule, our WPIAL, our section matches that we have, Bethel Park, Peters Township, Canamac, Mount Lebanon, all those guys, standard fare, tough teams. We always struggle with those because, like I said, we don't have a stud program. We have some guys. We got guys that are buying into the program and trying to put in that extra work to get a little bit better. But it has its growing pains. So we're fighting our way through that.
Yeah, man. There's different levels, no doubt. You got the Canamacs and Connells of the world. They got multi-million-dollar facilities off the side of their gyms and stuff. It's definitely a different world sometimes.
Absolutely.
Okay, next thing I got on the list: social media. How can we follow your squad this year?
So we have Instagram, and we're on X. So X is, you just search Baldwin Varsity Wrestling. Our guys will post a bunch of stuff on there that people can follow. Instagram is just Baldwin Wrestling. So not so much there. It's mostly on the X is where the guys do most of the postings.
Good, man. You did well there on the X. That's everyone's Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. You're the first person that just said the X. I like that. That's good stuff. Okay, next thing I have on the list. Actually, the last thing I have. Anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go, my friend?
I tell you what, the one group that I would like to give a shout out to is our athletic department. We've struggled for a long time trying to make wrestling a priority in the district. I was youth president for our youth group for, 8 years or so. And when I first came into the district and Owen was in kindergarten, he came to me and he said, "I want to wrestle, Dad." And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. I wrestled as a kid. I wasn't nearly as good as he was, not even close. Right. But I was excited. And I saw our varsity program had like 5 kids. Middle school had like 5 kids. I said, we can't compete like this. So I made it my effort to try to build up the program. And we did. We have over 100 kids in our youth program consistently. We have 32 kids in our varsity program this year. We have 28 kids in our middle school program. And, I think a lot of it is due to our new athletic director. He's really sports oriented. He wants to help us out. He's doing all these things possible to get us to the tournaments we want to get to, giving us the matches that we need, giving us the supplies that we need, and really bending over backwards to help out this program. I think it's great that, programs like yours, other ones on the X, they really promote WPIAL wrestling, and the word's starting to get around. And I truly think that's why we have a lot of these new kids that are coming out, because they're seeing all this wrestling stuff coming up, and they want to try something different. So
I appreciate that, man. Give me a little scratch on the back there, my friend. I appreciate that. And, I'm sure I will see you out at, one of the tournaments, or maybe even up at Gladiators at some point. But, yeah, man, always enjoy watching your kid specifically and those Baldwin guys scrap. And I'm so excited and so thankful that you came on and took some time out for me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Appreciate you reaching out to us and, getting Baldwin's name out there. So makes the boys feel good.
My friend. Yeah, absolutely, man. Tough, hard scrappers, and I'm excited to see what the Highlanders do this year,
Absolutely.
right?
That's right.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right, awesome. Thank you.